again, I'm a big micromanager when it comes to that. I want to find the most efficient way to, my goal is to talk to as many people as possible. Even if it's a little sloppier, like I don't know too much about this specific area, even if it's a little sloppier, I just want to talk to them. And then while I'm on the phone, you know, play like, hi, I was calling about your property for sale in Warrensville Heights.
Yes.
Yeah, my name's Dave. I am a realtor. I just want to make sure you guys are allowing agents to bring you a buyer for the home.
You can bring it. Yeah, I do accept that.
Wonderful. I assume you're offering a buyer's agent commission if we did bring you a buyer?
Yes.
Fantastic. Is that just the normal 2 to 3%?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
3%.
3%. Wonderful. Now, photos on the property. I know Zillow sometimes takes a little bit of time. Is there going to be any?
It does. It does not have any of that picture. I don't even know where that came from.
Really? Yeah, I don't know why Zillow does that to you guys.
I had like 30 pictures on there, and not one of them went through.
How is the interior? Just out of curiosity, is it like updated, not updated? What are we looking at?
100%. The house is completely 100% updated. I could send you pictures if you want.
Yeah, just so I can get a feel for it. And then showings on
the house tomorrow. So
that was my next question. How are you doing showings on the house? Is it strictly open houses? Is it
open house or by appointment?
By appointment. Okay. Are you flexible most days?
I am. Usually I work till 2:33, so it's anytime after that, but I am available.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. I know there's a couple that have sold in the area for a little bit of a higher price. Are you guys just trying to get a quick sale out of it, or are you trying to get the most money out of it?
A little bit of both. A little bit of both.
Yeah.
A little bit of both.
Okay. Was this a flip for you, or was this just like a home that you guys lived in and renovated?
No, it's a home that our aunt had. So
gotcha. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. I reached out because I saw, I don't know if you guys saw the one on Emory Road listed at 350. I don't think it's gonna sell anytime soon, but
yeah, I did not see that one.
Yeah, it's listed at 350, and I'm experienced with that property. I say worst case scenario, it doesn't sell in the next month or two. Is it going on the market with a realtor at a higher price at that time, or are you guys just taking it off?
I don't know anything about that house.
Well, I mean, like for your specific house, would you be taking it off and putting it on the market with a realtor at that point if it's not sold in the next few months? If you could sell it at a higher price?
If it doesn't sell within the next month, I probably would do that.
Okay. I called just to see if I could sell it for more and maybe net you the same. Would I be able to stop by and just see if there's an option there for the next month or two? We typically list houses and sell them.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Would you be available? I have some time, let's say Wednesday. I'm a little booked up Monday and Tuesday, but Wednesday I can stop by.
Wednesday's fine.
Okay.
I'll just reach out to me, give me a call, whatever, stop by.
Fantastic.
Like I said, I usually work till 2:33 and then I head over here after.
Okay, so let's do Wednesday, 4:00 then. I'll plan to be there. I'll text you over
if you have anyone interested in it, I'm willing to work with agents. So
fantastic. And again, I would just be coming over there to see if we could sell it for more in a month or two. So just a backup option at that point.
Gotcha.
And what was your name again?
Mike,
my name's Dave. I'll text you over my contact info and I'll meet you Wednesday, 4:00.
All right, yeah, send me over your contact and I'll just send you a couple quick pics.
Please do, just so I can run some numbers beforehand.
You got it.
All right, see you soon, Mike. Thanks.
Yep, bye-bye.
All right, so again, the lead listing. You could hear, and even there, I want to emphasize, I was even like stuttering through that. Like that wasn't the cleanest call I've ever made. But it got the point across. I had my frame of reference. I knew, I was asking if he was allowing buyer's agent. I knew a couple of like filler questions, trying to build rapport, get more information on the house, and then ask him if I could sell or list it for more if he would list it in the future. And I kind of scrambled through that part. Like it wasn't the cleanest thing, but confidence, I held in there. I stuck in the pocket, and it's, he's open to it. Again, who wouldn't be? Most people are at least open to it. So now I'm meeting him. And if it doesn't sell next month or two, I'm the first realtor who talked to him. I'm not coming over there hard sale, trying to close him right then and there. If I have an opportunity to, obviously I will, but it's in the next month or two. I mean, who would be against doing that? That's kind of how I think about it and why I'm so confident with the script. and why it works. It's very value based. Any comments on that call? Any questions through that? I mean, that was pretty almost textbook like. I mean, even with me stuttering through it, but that was pretty textbook like.
I got a quick question.
Please.
Um, so I thought it was really cool that you were able to shift the conversation to you're going there as a possible backup for listing.
Yeah.
And he was in the frame of mind that, he wants to sell it. He wants to get the most. He thinks the most he can get is if he sells it. So how do you shift that conversation? Like, you made it pretty clear you're going there as a listing agent.
Yeah.
And I've had a number of these calls, and whenever I try to push it in that direction, they're like, "Oh, no, 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 we don't want a listing agent. We're doing it ourselves." So how do you like get the nuance of that down so you don't get the rejection or the objection?
Yeah. Let me pull up the actual script because I highlight the okay. So the things that are highlighted here are the three questions, and you want to say them in this order. That's how I break down the nuance. So what I know a lot of you guys struggle with, and because on our one-on-ones, we get this a lot. When you say, I'm calling to see if you're allowing realtors to bring you a buyer for the home, the most common objection I'm sure you guys are getting is, yeah, if you bring me a buyer, I'll sell it. That's not an objection. That answered your question of, like, you asked them directly. That tells you two things. They're open to working with an agent, and you're halfway there on the commission. Like, he's willing to pay 3%. All I really need to do is sell for 3% more, 2% more, and I have a 5.5%, 6% listing right there. I don't believe in undercutting yourself. If you needed to get business and really needed to, I guess you could do 4%, but always pay the buyer's agents 3 too. But that regardless, and I don't believe in doing that, so try not to do that. But regardless, when you're shifting it, I'm just asking them this, giving them some of the rapport building here. These are just filler questions. You can fill it in with whatever you want. And he's still in that frame of mind of, I want him to bring me a buyer, but I never said I have a buyer. I'm just calling to see if you're allowing agents to do it. I'm separating myself from it. And then this is the question where they start, like, you've already broken down their walls. They want you to bring you a buyer. Now you're saying, worst case scenario, if it doesn't sell next month, if you're open to working with an agent, then is where you start talking even listing wise. After you've already built about 45 seconds of rapport and talked about what they want. Now you're also talking about what they want. If it doesn't sell next month or two, which we don't want to happen, would you be open to it? Most people are open to it, open-minded. And then the whole netting number. The common thing is, I'm only talking to realtors if they bring me a buyer. Do you have a buyer? Like, that would be the most common thing. My response to that is, no, I don't have a buyer. I'm just seeing if there's an opportunity later down the line, if for some whatever reason we do come up with a buyer. And then I just immediately go into, like, for that guy, is there going to be photos listed of the house? I just change the subject. How updated is the house? Those are rapport building questions right there. And then, like, I've already answered their objection or question, and then I move it slowly into this. But these are the three questions in that order, and that's how I've gotten through it. David, what are you like experiencing when you talk to them? Is it like bring me a buyer type thing, or do you have a buyer? Or is it something else?
It's mostly, do you have a buyer? And then, no, I don't have a buyer, but I'd like to, view the house, maybe see if it could work out if I did find a buyer. So that might
Right
be part
there.
of what I'm doing is
Yeah.
like, if I find a buyer,
Yeah.
I should not be doing that.
Yeah, don't do that. Right there is where it is. If they say, do you have a buyer? No, I don't. I'm just seeing if there's an opportunity to bring you a buyer. How are you allowing showings on the home? Like that, you just want to hop right into like the next thing. Is there going to be photos of the house? Like, then you want to get away from talking about a buyer, because I don't want to lie to them and say, like Tom Ferry suggests, say you have a buyer and just get your foot in the door. I think it's the dumbest thing in the world. You don't want to do that. What you want to do is be honest and truthful and upfront with them. So if they ask you directly, no, I don't, just seeing if there's an opportunity. And then just move out of it ASAP. Now, if they're really in that frame of mind, and I get it occasionally of like, dude, I don't want to meet you unless you have a buyer. Okay, no worries. Why don't I give you a call next couple months, couple weeks? see if it's sold. If not, we'll talk about it then. Sound fair? And you're just keeping the option open, and you still text them your contact info. You do all that. Does that help you, David?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. Yeah, that would be my response. Do you have a buyer? Nope. Just seeing if I have an opportunity, or if there, not if I have an opportunity, if there is an opportunity later down the line. And I know that's a common one that people get. But it's not, I don't even call it an objection because it's really, it's a pretty reasonable question.
Well,
I was calling about your property for sale, Kent.
yeah.
Yeah,
What would you like to know?
my name's Dave. I'm a realtor. I wanted to see if you're allowing agents to bring you a buyer for the property.
You're a realtor?
Yes,
You're
sir.
a realtor who has a potential buyer?
No, I don't have a buyer yet. I just want to see if there's an opportunity if you were allowing agents to bring you a buyer for the property. Now, obviously, we don't want to reach out to anybody if you're not.
Well, I mean, you could, but we're not interested in paying any commissions if that's kind of along the line. So, that's just how it works. So,
Yeah, typically, obviously, typically there's a commission. So you would require the buyers to pay that type of commission.
well, I mean, that's between you and the buyer and how you want to handle. But no, I'm not. If I wanted to have someone represent me and pay them, I would.
Well, actually, we wouldn't be representing you. I know it's a common.
No. I meant for the. I would not be. Yeah, I'm not interested in splitting the commission with the buyer. If that makes it more clear.
Gotcha. Okay, so you don't want to pay a realtor at all. I mean, if it say worst case scenario, and Kent is hot right now. Worst case scenario, it doesn't sell next month or two. Would you be open to that?
No, it's not an option.
It's just at the price point you're at, you need to like net a certain number.
Well, if you could cover their costs and pay the price, then sure they can have it. That's all I can tell you. We're not interested in using a realtor. We have an attorney to handle the paperwork, and that's about all we want to do.
That's beautiful. No, I totally get it.
I mean, I'm just being straightforward. Well, I'll be honest with you. With all
Please.
the costs involved, it prohibits us from selling the house to relocate because that kills where we need to be. So
I totally understand.
Yeah. So we're just testing the waters, to be honest. And
I totally get it.
I appreciate you calling and reaching out. And I understand, I've had some realtors mention that they would roll into the price. And one guy said, you might even not have that listed even high enough. And I said, well, I'm just going by intuition at this point.
Okay.
And we're in no hurry. And if it doesn't sell, we love this house, but it's just getting to the age where it's time to find something smaller, but it doesn't have to be anytime soon. We're not in any kind of a crisis stage or anything like that.
So when you say you're like relocating, you're just relocating. It's same area, but smaller house, I assume.
Yeah, I'm hoping to at least get a little more north of here, north side of Kent or Twin Lakes or, Franklin Township, actually.
Those are great areas. Yeah.
Yeah, they are. And there's nothing there.
Yeah, it's really tough. So let's say everything worked out. You guys were able to sell it totally on your own tomorrow. Are you able to get out of the property in 30 days? Or do you have a property that you're going into?
There'll be a contingency in that.
Okay.
A reasonable one, but it'll be contingent on
you finding a property. Right.
Yeah. And we have an agent for that.
Right. Of course. Yeah, no,
we've been working with her a while, but like I said, it was just too cost prohibitive to list it any other way. So, I don't know. I mean, the problem really, honestly, and you know much better than I would, my wife, we go look at stuff and the prices and what it's like, man, it's like, I don't think people, and this is a unique property in the fact that it has 1.5 acres in Kent with city amenities. And so, you don't have to worry about a well or a septic, but you got 1.5 acres. The backyard backs up to a park and a creek dividing it.
Yeah.
The negative about this area, to be straightforward, is this side of the street is zoned R1 and the other side of the street is zoned commercial.
Gotcha.
Industrial. And, well, that is another thing. I mean, there was woods across the street from us, big lots. And in the last year, the guy cleared 2.5 acres of woods and then sold the property. And supposedly it sold to some company. And we don't really know. There's no site plans registered with the city of Kent, but the company's name is Mega Storage Solutions. I looked them up, and the only one I found was in Texas, and they had went out of business. But so, you know, there's probably the option of that's what's gonna happen. And a factory down the street just went bankrupt. So, you know, I don't. But it's the backyard and everything else, but the front yard is losing its appeal.
Yeah. Well, so the Mega Storage Solutions, that land use is that it's residential acreage. So the good news is it sounds like they're going to be building residential homes on that.
Oh, well, it could be residential.
Yeah. So, which is great news for you.
Right?
Well, no, it's only residential acreage. So it can only be residential unless they rezone it.
Well, how do you wait? What do you mean? Do you know where? Are you looking on a map right now?
Yeah, no, well, yeah, we had pulled it up right across the street before I called you. I'm pretty familiar with the area. So
yeah, that's zone commercial or industrial, isn't it?
No,
well, it could be either, right?
No, based on the auditor site, it's zoned residential, strictly residential acreage. I can send you it if you would like. It's true.
Yeah, I would like that. Of course, I appreciate it because we're under the impression because there's all kinds of industrial that might have been done. That might have been grandfathered in because they're older businesses.
Of course, yeah. And right now, it's I'll send this to you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I can get your email and send it to you. Or that's probably the easiest way. I'll just send you the thing. So I just want to be upfront with you. I appreciate you being upfront with me. I don't want to obviously waste time here. We sell quite a bit, and I'm sure you know the properties on Shaw Drive that are selling in the 300s. Price sounds to be the most important thing for you. If we were able to market it in a way where we could sell it at more and net you even more than we're asking now, and everybody wins, like commissions are paid, you don't pay any commissions, you market yourself to the most amount of people, because Zillow, I don't know if you know this, you have to click through like 3 different tabs just to see it for sale.
I know how it works. You gotta get to the more tab. The more tab and click for sale by owner.
Which as well as I know, most buyers aren't doing that. So
I agree with you.
Why don't I do this? If I could just stop by, see the home, I can share with you what's down in the area. And then if it makes sense for you next year, we're hopping in the new year, great. If it makes sense to you tomorrow, cool. But whatever, it's another option of you still get the price that you want. You get the most amount of exposure, and then you can use your realtor that you have to buy a home. And it's way easier to do that than having contingencies all around. And you're limiting yourself with not paying a buyer's agent or having it sent out to every buyer. So it's a win-win in my opinion. I mean, would you be open to just having me meet you and just seeing if it makes sense? I could at least see the property and see if we can sell it for more.
Let me discuss it with my wife, but in all honesty, that requires signing a contract.
Of course. Correct. Well, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
The only reason it requires this because legally we need permission to market your home. But if you wanted to,
honest with you, we're not there yet.
No, totally fine.
Send me that map you're talking about to my email. I'll give it to you, and then I will keep that. And if we get to that point within the next couple months, then I'll give you a call back. But I'm not going to spend any time of mine or yours on that idea, which it makes sense. I completely understand the concept. But if you could send me that map, and then I can have your information. And like I said, if in the next couple months we want to go that direction, you'll be number 1 on the list.
Hey, I appreciate that. What was your name again?
Mike,
my name's Dave. I'll send it to you. I'm going to be in the area, sometime next week. So I could stop by. It wouldn't be any additional out of my time. If you want to wait a few months, totally get it. I don't want to pressure you.
Yeah, we prefer to wait a couple months.
Let's do that, Mike.
If you wanted to, if you want,
let's do that.
Yeah, let's just do that.
Let's do that.
I'll give you my email, and then we'll take it from there. Okay.
What's a good email for you, Mike?
It would be Mike DIALES @gmail.com.
Okay, I'm going to send you over where I'm looking at residential acreage. I'll send you the full document of the land. It's going to be in the top right corner where you'll see strictly residential acreage. It'll say type residential acreage and nothing else.
All right.
All right, sounds good, Mike.
I appreciate the information, Dave. Thank
Hey,
you.
no worries. Talk to you soon.
All right. Take care. All right. Bye.
Bye now. All right, so you see, I mean, that was a great call. Harder guy, but not an unreasonable guy. I mean, it sounded unreasonable at first, but if you just slowly explain to them why it makes sense. I mean, it literally does not, it doesn't make any sense. So if you slowly explain that, I think he's got a fear now of just signing a contract, which is fine. Maybe he got burned in the past. But like you said, I'll be the first agent. So that's how you kind of slowly just talk to them and see if it makes sense and listen to them of what they actually want. He cares solely on price, nothing else. Price is number one. All I'm going to talk to him about is price now. I'll find other properties that sold in the area. These are condos that are selling at 300. He's got an acre lot. So a little bit of an outdated house, but I know Kent, other than this upper area, is a pretty solid area. I mean, I'll run more detailed market analysis to make sure. And if I can't, then I just don't talk to him again. But secure the email. He likes me. He trusts me. There's not another realtor that can compete with that now. And that was off of a 10-minute phone call. David, does that help you out? I know this is kind of both of our markets right now. I mean, Kent's a little bit closer. Kent's definitely closer to your market, but does that help you out at all?
Yeah, that helps out quite a bit. One thing that I saw that you did is, like, I probably would have hung up on that guy 3 minutes into the conversation because he was just so adamant against working with a realtor.
Yeah.
But you brought him around to actually, possibly going for the appointment. So it's like, well, how do you get to that point where you're like, not like, is it just repetition of calls? Because most of the time when I get that kind of resistance, I'm like, all right, this guy's not going anywhere. Talk to you later. Bye.
Yeah, and I'm sure I've missed out on dozens of leads where I was just like, it's not going anywhere, goodbye. And there's someone who's just in the pocket, keeping at it. There's a time when you want to push it and when you don't want to push it. So like this morning, the 4 expired calls we had, those are, in my opinion, times when you don't push it. Like, you can hear the difference from those first 4 calls that I had with those fresh expireds to these calls. They're nicer. They're more communicative. If I'm able to just have a friendly conversation back and forth with them, then I'll push it, but not in a way of like, I mean, it really just makes sense for you to list with me. Like, I never said that. I just was like, well, it seems like those are 2 good lines. It sounds like you're looking to get the most amount of money possible, which is reasonable. Totally understand that. He explained, he went into like a 5-minute thing of, yes, that's what he wants. Then I just break down, well, I mean, how about let's just start here. Can I just stop by? And like, it's just, you slowly work them in piece by piece to building that. And if it was still a no and a no and a no, then that's all good. You build a decent relationship, you send them the contact info, and you call him in 2 weeks from now. Or say, David, you say you had that call, right? And you hung up on him, but you felt like maybe there was a way that I could have closed that. Maybe there was a way. Then you just, at least you're not mean to him. You build a decent rapport and you make it friendly. Even if it's a no, you're just like, hey man, totally understand. Have a great day. We'll see what we can do for you. If you end the call like that, and then you're like, maybe there was something I could have done, then you just call me and say, this is how the conversation went. What would you have done? And I'll tell you, like, well, I would have just slowly bantered back and forth. You see how quickly I'm pulling up information. Like, I'm correcting him when he's wrong. And he likes that because now I just provided him value that no other realtor that's talked to him has. So I'm just finding ways I can slowly implement value any way I can. And you got to get creative. And that's part of the repetition of calls. And it'll come with it. I'm sure if I was 3 months in the business and 3 months into prospecting, this guy would have never been a lead for me. But 2 years in the business, I've made 2 hours a day, 6 days a week phone calls for the past 2 years. You get good at it. I mean, you're going to be forced to just build that repetition. So hang in the pocket. I mean, you see the first FSBO that I talked to today, I think any one of you guys could have gotten that listing and lead using my script and just being confident. Yeah, I even stuttered through the script and it wasn't that great. So any one of you guys could have gotten that. those are the leads you'll probably be getting now, building confidence, talking to people. And then a year or two down the line, you can get harder people like this. That's kind of how I think about it. Does anybody have questions on that? That was a really good call of how I turned him from a no to a yes, just in a 10-minute phone call.
I really just like I said on the last one, I just really liked how you stayed in the pocket because just as like the previous gentleman mentioned, you know, I can definitely I would have seen myself like hanging up also on that one. So I liked how you stayed in the pocket, but also you you asked for the appointment more than once too, which is awesome. And
Yeah,
that I think solved the problem that I've been having recently where we maybe, yeah, in the beginning, you know, they weren't very communicative with me, but then we started talking and then but then I was afraid to ruin this newfound relationship by asking for an appointment. So I wouldn't ask for an appointment and I would just say, well, I'll just follow up next week. Well,
right.
I'd follow up next week. They don't remember who I am at this point. They don't remember who I am. It's
Yeah.
like, and then it's like, wow, I should have just asked for the appointment while I had the momentum going.
So
Um,
here's a couple things there, real quick. It's totally okay to, I say this a lot, and I actually have one of my partners here, Nick. I say this to him too. It is okay to not set the appointment right away. Like say that was hard, and you're like, maybe I could have gotten an appointment if I said X, Y, and Z, but I don't know. And you just hung up friendly. Don't wait a week to call him. Call me real quick if you need me. If you're in my program, call me. I'll tell you what to say. And then just like 10 minutes later, be like, hey, Mike, I just thought about this. I'm sorry to call you again. And then go into if it makes sense, like I'm looking at these properties. I was just so curious. I'm going to be in the area tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Would I just could stop by 15 minutes and give you the information? You can just always ask the appointment 10 minutes later. If you don't know what to say right then and there, it's better than like really screwing up the relationship. The other
mhm.
thing, you're not going to screw up the relationship asking for appointment if you ask it in the way that I teach to ask it, in a very value-based way. I'm listening to what he wants. He only cares about money. Couldn't care less about anything else. Like time frame, none of it matters. It's money. He wants that sticker price. I'm listening to that, and then I ask the appointment surrounding that. So it's
Yeah.
like, if you're just value-based, and if you're coming to a place of just a conversation, not like, can I list your home like tomorrow? Like, I think I could sell this in like a week or two. He wouldn't have liked it. He'd be like, no, 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 no. But if I'm like, hey man, if I could just stop by and see if it makes sense. Like, here's the other thing. Here's a good tip. Right then and there, I never was like, I want to stop by and list your home. I want to come by and stop by. I want to come by and see if it makes sense in the next few months from now to list your home. And then while I'm there, I'll feel it out. I'll use intuition, and then I'll maybe try to close there. 90% of the time, I'm not closing on the first appointment. It takes 2 appointments for me. I'm takes a follow-up call. It takes follow-up because I'm doing it in a very slow, you make the decision, come to me type of business. It's a different style of what a lot of people teach. So those are 2 ways. You're not going to screw up the relationship, and you can always hang up and call them back 10, 15 minutes later, or the next day, or like, you don't really want to wait a week for FISBO. So you want to call them like the next day, the next 2 days. I mean, this guy, you're probably pretty safe because he's like, well, he's 7 days on the market. So even this, like, some killer can get on the phone and just close him like that. Because there are better people in the market than me, than you guys. There's better prospectors, and you want to get that value base right away. So does that help everybody in the group?
So thank you. That was a really good call.
Cool. And then David, this was kind of your market. So jot down the address, jot down the number. And we'll just call him. Like, my method to this would just be to call him in, I don't know, this coming Wednesday. Like, I'm just kind of getting a rough number, but I wouldn't call him no later than Wednesday, and just say like, hey, did you end up talking to your wife? Just seeing, I'm actually gonna, and I lie like this. It's okay to fib a little bit, like white lies. I'll say, I'm gonna actually be right around that area today between like 4 and 6 o'clock. Could I just maybe stop by if it makes sense? And I'll keep asking for that. I might have like the MLS pulled up before I call him, and I'll find a house. Like I couldn't, this one's a very unique property. If it was a property like in this neighborhood, I could quickly gauge a price, low 300s, boom. But this one's a bit unique. So I'll find a property. I'll even draw the radius out a little bit more. And I recommend finding a property that's identical to this in Kent with an acre of land, a little less outdated, and seeing if it did sell for 300 and using that to your advantage. Be like, can I just stop by and compare it to that one to see if, I know you guys are a few months out and I totally respect the decision, but at least you guys will have all the information and I won't bother you until a few months from now. Like you can, like that's how I'd go about this lead. Because this is a lead. Again, we got a lead here, not an appointment, a lead. And a contact. That was my contact goal. Or actually, I need one more contact today to hit my goal. So, and we got 2 leads and 1 appointment. Does that, David, did you already jot down the address, David?
No, I'm driving, but
Oh, you're
I'll
driving.
look it up.
But no worries, I'll text you the address then. I have your number. I'll text you the address.
Thank you.
Of course. Let me write that down so I don't forget.